So I'm here with Kathy, and she's going to go over some of Dad's stuff. And boy, this has been quite the time going through bins, several bins worth of stuff, and a lot that I took home back in 2019. But so Kathy's got some good memories. Go ahead.
Okay.
I just need to shut up.
Well, these are our albums that Denny put together and stuff, and
Here, I'm gonna do this here.
the first part of this album is, he was so proud of the work that they did on the Eric Robert Rudolph
Right.
search, and there was, 2 dog handlers basically on that search, and he had a nice picture taken with the HRT team
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and he has a number of photos from that particular search, including the picture of the trailer house where Eric Robert Rudolph had been staying and stuff.
Yeah.
He was so proud of that.
Oh yeah.
I think most of these photos in this first 2 pages are all involving that search.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into
Yeah.
a lot of other training photos in this album. Pretty sure most of this is still that search. Picture of Gwen Rimby there, and there was a really elite little group of guys that were really well thought of in the bloodhound world, well thought of in law enforcement, and Denny was proud to be part of that group.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And it's hard for me to remember some of these guys' names. I think this guy was either out of Texas or California. He was another good friend of Denny's. I believe this one was in Wyoming. This was a homicide in a trailer park, and there they were going in on full dress to do some forensic stuff in the trailer.
Right. Huh.
We talked earlier about the homicide picture that you found.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and in that situation where the individual, the female, basically executed her boyfriend, she spit her bubble gum out. And there's the picture of the bubble gum, and that's what they scented the dog off of, and the dog ultimately found.
Tell the rest of that story.
Okay. They scented the dog. It was a dog out of Chicago, real well-known bloodhound dog, and the dog tracked down the road, basically following the person in a car. The dog took an exit off the road into an area that accessed a river, and the dog went down into the river and basically scanned the top of the water back and forth, and stuck his head under the water and came up with the murder weapon.
That's amazing.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that is cool.
Really amazing.
Wow.
So a lot of these pictures now, well, there's the dog tracking.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's that.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating.
A lot of these pictures now here are from different scenarios or different seminars that we went to, different ones that Denny had went to. I remember right. Some of these were out west, and I wasn't present for these. I think this one was in Montana. This was before he came out here when he had
Mm-hmm.
the big SUV in Montana.
Right.
This one I remember. I really remember that one. It was called Old Timers Seminar, and it was held in, I believe, at the prison in Leavenworth, Kansas.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Glenn Rimby. His
Okay.
good friend Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah. Just lots of, lots of well-known bloodhound people in there.
Wow.
Lots of law enforcement officers. Then he was part of LEBA, Law Enforcement Bloodhound Association.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't even really get started until after he retired from the Air Force.
Right. Yeah.
And boy, he just really dove in head first.
And if he got a call, he went.
Yeah.
You just dropped everything and went.
Yeah.
I wish he'd put names on the backs of these
Mm-hmm.
photos.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but it sure is great that he
There's
took the
Lana.
photos to begin with. Yeah,
there's his
Lana.
original vehicle.
Yeah, got the Zachary Ramsey thing on the window.
Yep.
He was a little boy who went missing in Great Falls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall if that was ever resolved or.
After Denny moved here,
Mm-hmm.
he got a call from up there. There was a place where he had tracked to an apartment building or something, and they just kind of blew it off. Well, when he was down here, and this was quite a while afterwards, someone at the school noticed a guy that looked like he was in uniform outside of a school. And they confronted the gentleman and stuff, and ultimately he was arrested. He was a sex offender from back east that had been basically got out of prison or whatever and told not to come back to that state.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Barjona.
Mm-hmm.
In Barjona's residence, they found recipes for things like little boy stew.
Mm. Wow.
Barjona had participated in searches and helped feed people.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know if Barjona was ever convicted of Zachary Ramsey's death, but he was convicted. He is in prison, and I'm not sure if he's still alive.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that case.
Yeah. Lots of other training photos. Those were, I'm sure, taken up in Montana. He's a lot younger there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great photo.
Mm-hmm. Now this was another one that this was before my time, Central Utah Correctional Facility. We did some training there. I'm sure those were all in Utah. It's like they were working with the dog, with a radio attached to the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Denny was probably one of the few people that ever tracked with his dog off lead.
Right.
With a bloodhound, you know, if the guy jumped off the bridge, the dog's gonna go off the bridge. If the guy runs out through traffic, the dog's just gonna go. So you would always track on lead, but Denny managed to track his dogs a lot of times off lead.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone wanted a picture with him.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
With Glenn and Edith. That vehicle is the one that he wrecked when he moved out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard about that. Pulling the fifth wheel or the little trailer.
Yeah.
He said it shattered like it was made out of toothpicks.
Oh. This was taken, I think, in Bismarck. Nothing better than puppies. It's Nolan. This was some training up in North Dakota.
So Nolan's a cousin that I'm going to hopefully meet in the next couple of days. He lives up in Jamestown, North Dakota, and I worked with my dad, but I never have met him. I'm not even sure exactly where the connection is, but I'm going to find out.
My first dog.
Your first dog?
Yep.
What was the name?
Annie Oakley.
Annie Oakley. Huh.
Yep. That was Gus and Bandit. That was in Nebraska.
Yeah.
That was in Nebraska. That was in Missouri.
It's like hazmat suits.
Yep, that was that case in Wyoming that he helped with.
Yeah.
This is what was left of his vehicle after he wrecked it.
Amazing. Yeah, I saw some of the pictures about those, of that vehicle.
You know this picture?
No, I mean I haven't seen that picture before. I don't think.
You've never seen that before?
No, it looks like Chuck Norris.
That does it?
No,
you can have that one.
Where did it come from?
I found it in some of his stuff, and I'm assuming it was about the time that he was running for sheriff.
No, it could be.
I think.
Yeah. Could be. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. That was the seminar thing in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Old Jogi in Kenya. I think that was in Utah.
So the Kenya trip, when you flew over to Kenya, you're going to go over that next, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
See.
That's interesting. I was wondering what he was doing over in Kenya, but we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Calamity Jane.
Oh boy.
Classic Calamity Jane.
Yeah.
That was in North Dakota. That was in North Dakota.
That's your phone?
Yeah.
Stop this one for now.